big, 62 feet across a conference room
62 feet.
into a vessel this big, which was situated under a table, nothing but net.
I gave her 5-to-1 odds. I thought it was a free $20. Cost me $100.
Oh, I wish you were there to analyze it. Just the game and the arc.
Don't worry. When Nick goes to L.A., we'll have plenty of time. Yes.
All right.
My new point guard.
Chris, 2 nights ago when Joel Embiid went down, we were relieved it was just his face and nothing that might keep him out of the lineup. 2 to 4 weeks. Turns out he broke his face, an orbital fracture to be specific, and it will require surgery, and he's expected to miss 2 to 4 weeks. He could be back for the first round of the playoffs, which start in 15 days. Chris, how much does Embiid's injury change the Eastern Conference playoff landscape at this point?
Well, obviously it depends on when he gets back. And there have been players that come back in 2 weeks, and there have been those at 4. So if he's back, they should be okay. I think where they end up right now, they're 4th, tied with Indiana. I don't think they can hold off the Pacers to keep home court advantage. I do think they can stay in the 5 slot ahead of Milwaukee because they have about a 3.5-game lead. So that's critical where they end up. But in the first round, without Embiid, I think Indiana would take them down. I'd give Philly a chance because now that they have Marco Bellinelli and Ersan Ilyasova, they are better than they used to be without Embiid. They play differently. They can play small. Those guys can shoot. What I hope happens, CC, is while Embiid's out, I don't know if it will. What I hope happens is Simmons takes it upon himself to score more. Because we know he can't shoot, but he can score. He's giving you 16 points a game. He shoots 50% from the floor. So if he's more aggressive, obviously that'll open up more shots for his teammates. But I think I'd like to see him get 19, 20, 21 points a night because he's capable of doing it. If he does that when Embiid gets back, they'd be even better. So, you know, they have a shot against Indiana without Embiid, but I'd pick Indiana probably.
Yeah, I would probably pick Indiana in that series. Unfortunate that he's not able to play these 2 seasons, but fortunate that it is a type of injury that we have seen people play with some type of face mask in a couple weeks, 2 to 4 weeks. We know that he is going to be back. So that is the good news. As far as Ben Simmons, the only thing I'm concerned about him, if I need him to score more, based on the physicality of playoff basketball, it's harder to get to the bucket. Now, we know his range. Jenna got this one down pat. His range is 3 to 5 feet.
From you to Jenna, that's not his range.
I mean, it's 3 to 5 feet, but they do have some better options now because they can spread the court with some shooters. But this Philly team, I think everything hinges on who and Joel Embiid is. And watching him play, not only on television this year, the last week he was at the Garden. And I went to the game and I got there early specifically because I wanted to see how he interacted with other players and with the fans and the referees. Man, he got such respect for the game. Yep. He goes up, he shakes everyone's hand at the scorer's table. He introduced himself to every referee, or the ones that he doesn't know, the ones he does know. He greets them. Just the overall appeal that he has to his teammates, the childlike affection that to me, I believe, there's a lot of guys who are good. But there's only a few guys like Shaq who really draw people to them. So for me, this is beyond an injury. It's about the personality. And I don't believe Philadelphia and that they think that they can go far without his overall personality, forget his skill. I mean, as far as leading the NBA in points in the paint, you're like that.
Maybe the defensive player of the year.
I mean, those things right there are concrete things that you can build on. But for me, the intangibles, they love him. And his overall personality, I believe, affects especially how young they are.
Listen, we all agree that if he misses the first round, it drastically changes the playoffs. I think if he's there for game 1 of the first round, this has already drastically changed the playoffs. This was a team that since Christmas, that's a long time now, 42 games, has the 3rd best record in the NBA.
People will be shocked by that.
3rd best record in the NBA since Christmas. Houston, Toronto, Philly. This is a team that as we sit here today, has the same number of losses as Cleveland. With a healthy Joel Embiid, with games Atlanta, Charlotte, Brooklyn, Detroit, one game against Cleveland, and Dallas, Atlanta, and a game against Milwaukee at the end of the year, they could have caught or past Cleveland.
Yes.
So think about what that means. You're the 3 seed then. we don't know who you'd get in the first round. You'd be a heavy favorite. You then get an injured Boston team in round 2, where I would favor you. And then I believe you get a Cleveland team that at the very least you have home court advantage over in the Eastern Conference Finals. You avoid Toronto, a team that if you don't believe in Cleveland out of the East, you got to believe in Toronto. You would be avoiding Toronto until at least the Eastern Conference Finals, and you would guarantee you only have to play one of Toronto or Cleveland if you got the 3 seed. They could have gotten the 3 seed. They were going to have a chance to go beat Cleveland and take it from them. And even if they didn't beat Cleveland, to pass them anyway. This team's 3-8 without him this year. This is, I think Ben Simmons Rookie of the Year. This is a devastating injury to the Eastern Conference playoff picture. Like, this is, in my eyes,
devastating.
I think it's devastating.
Even if he's back for game 1.
Because
there's no guarantee they were going to catch Cleveland and pass them for the 3rd seed.
Agreed. There's no guarantee. But now they're going to be in a position, in my eyes, where instead of potentially being the 3 seed, they're the 5 seed. And they're on the road in every series. Indiana, by the way, can present some problems for them because I think Oladipo, they don't have a great answer for him defensively, as good as they've been defensively. It's just, and I've watched these guys play with the mask who don't typically play with the mask. Rip Hamilton's the exception.
Kyrie
hated it. These guys hate the mask. And when you're a big guy and the refs tend to let you get bumped and banged, having an eye socket fracture, like coming off surgery on that, I think this is a huge loss.
But let's get, first of all, Philly being in the playoffs is good news.
Yeah. No doubt.
All right. Now, he doesn't have an injury that's going to affect him moving forward. It seems like that guys have come back from this on a regular basis. Like, now, the injuries and how injuries play out, I believe they will have a drastic influence on the playoffs. Because I believe guys going into the playoffs are getting hurt. We're going to have several guys get hurt in the playoffs. Like, that is definitely going to happen. I believe this will affect the seeding, but I don't believe it will affect Philadelphia and their arc drastically.
Unless he's
out. In the future? You're talking about in the future?
Well, I believe he's going to play.
Okay.
I believe he's going to play. I believe it won't affect them drastically in this year's playoff.
Yeah, I'm with you. We've seen guys, you're right, even if they don't like the mask, but they still can play well. I can't recall somebody whose game just fell off because they were wearing the mask. So if he's there I hear what you're saying. If they had caught Cleveland and finished 3rd, that does change a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But there's no guarantee they were going to do that. And you ran down the list. They got some bad teams. But they got some teams that want to lose, so they still might end up with a strong record over these last 8 games.
Just real quick, you're right. There was no guarantee they were going to catch Cleveland. I feel like it is now guaranteed they won't catch Cleveland. And I think that's
Cleveland, you can't guarantee how they're going to play.
That's true. You never know.
Are you worried about Cleveland? We'll take a break.
Good job, brother.
Chris, we'll see you a little bit later. Coming up, did Bob Kraft admit time has finally beaten Tom Brady?
Tom versus time.
Did I put words in
Coach Mangini's got hot.
Looking forward to it, too. When you're a host, you have more of a budget.